Hello everyone, and welcome to another beer review. Now, today, oh Christ, it started already, but today we're doing a beer that I happened to see in Aldi, of all places, when I was in there with Adrian because because we're having a bit of a sesh, we're over doing some work at the weekend, and this was in the past, and what we usually do is we'll get some beer in or whatever drinking to have a bit of a session on the Saturday night. So what happened was we went over to Aldi because he wanted to get some cider, and his favourite is Red Devon Sanford cider, which they sell in Aldi over here. They don't sell it over in Aldi and these places where he lives in near Portsmouth. And you see, so when he's over here, he likes to get a bit of a session now and again on it. And while we're in there, because I wasn't buying anything, because I think it was, I can't remember, but I'd already got the beer sorted out or something, well sorted out. And I just happened to see this bottle, and I said, "Oh God, look at this!" And he's like, "Oh, you should get that to review." And I said, "No, go and give it a go. Yeah, what's the worst that could happen?" I should have fucking listened to him. I really shouldn't. So today, Christ, seriously, we're doing Aldi's Yorkshire Pudding beer. What the hell am I doing in my life? Seriously, what am I doing? Where's it gone wrong? Because you know this is not going to work out well, do you? You just don't. I mean, I know. Don't even know why I'm reviewing it, but fuck it. I bought it now, so I might as well. Might as well see me suffer. Oh, Christ. Anyway. And it's apart. If you look at what it says right at the bottom there, if you can actually see that. Made with real Yorkshire puddings. Oh, for fuck's sake. Seriously. I mean, I've already put up a video there of a gimmick that I'm actually not going to review. I don't know whether people have seen it or not, but I put up a video because I applied. It was a bit of a strange one. It was an anniversary beer, and it was Beck's at the time, and it was anniversary beer, 150 years celebrating of Beck's brewing their wonderful piss water. Although in saying that, though, the German stuff is a bit more palatable than the shit they sell in the UK. But I'll be totally honest, I'm not a big fan of Beck's anyway. So, from Bremen, no. But yeah, to cut a long story short, they were doing a celebration, and you could apply to try and be one of the chosen to get their anniversary beer. And they said it was something about AI. I didn't really pay much attention. And I was getting all these stupid updates, and I thought, what the hell are they talking about? Maybe some guff. And I really wasn't honestly paying attention until the oldest boy, I was having breakfast, and the oldest boy suddenly came in, and I don't know whether it had been delivered that morning or the day before. I honestly do not know. But he came in with this, saying, "Oh, this was delivered." And he just kind of dumped it and pissed off out of the room. So I cracked it open, and it was on a kind of plastic kind of covering over the box, so I took all that off, and then there was tape in the box, so I kind of sliced through it and opened the box, and the next minute the fucking started talking to me and flashing green lights and everything else. It just reminded me of Kit, from Knight Rider, with a voice, and just every time it spoke there was a flash of kind of these green lights, which of course is supposed to be associated with Beck's. And it was supposed to be the AI telling me that it basically created a beer, and to enjoy it, it's marvellous, and everything. Oh, fuck off, seriously. It's just a bloody gimmick. And I thought, right, I'll put that up. I'll put that up on as a video, just to kind of show you what I had over breakfast, because I nearly shat myself, basically, when I sitting there with the breakfast and open that. What the fuck? I mean, I wasn't expecting that. It caught me by surprise. And not a nice surprise, you're thinking, what the fuck? I mean, that's a bit freaky. So I thought, right, I'll film it. And I'll put it up and let people. I just put the thing was, is this the future of beer? Does beer actually really need these gimmicks? Question mark, and then just put the video up, and that was it. And then at the end, I just put a caption, and they call it Beck's Autonomous because apparently the recipe was created by AI and everything was done by AI. You think, oh, load of shit, just all bullshit. Just jumping on any bandwagon to try and kind of fit certain buzzwords into your kind of promotion and your kind of marketing material. Let's be totally honest. So I'm not going to review it. I've got the beer there, but I'm not going to review it because let's be totally honest. It's going to be crap. It's going to be crap. Let's be totally honest. Whatever it is, it's all about the hype and not the substance. So the beer's going to be a secondary thing. Let's going to be totally honest. It's all about coming up with some sort of kind of promotion, and that's what they're doing. It's got nothing to do with the actual. I mean, you think if you're 150 years and you're celebrating that, you think, well, let's try and make the best beer possible. No. What they come up with, let's do a lot of kind of stupid marketing promotion and bullshit. And if they're spending all the time on that nonsense and everything else, they haven't given two thoughts to the actual beer that's in the can. So I'm not going to waste my time. At the end of the day, I thought when I was applying for it, it was going to be, are they going to make it, a really good, are they going to put, hose barred, let's really make the best Becks we can and everything else, the best kind of German lager or whatever. And no, it just went down this route and I'm thinking, well, I kind of misjudged that. Well, which is strange because really I should have known better, but at the end of the day I made an arse of it and kind of thought, well, maybe they're going to try and make a good one. So yeah, let's see if I can try and get one and I can do a review. But no. So I don't see the point in reviewing it because I think it's just going to be rubbish anyway, and I'm just going to set myself up for a fall. And after a while you think, I've had enough of doing that. Which then brings me on to this, thinking I've had enough of doing it, but obviously not enough. Seriously. Now, so apparently it's made with real Yorkshire puddings. It's 3.6%. It's 500ml bottle, and it's winner of Aldi, the next best thing. So even there, Aldi's making up their own awards to award their own piss waters. How marvellous is that? So apparently this beer is the next best thing. No, there's spill in the back. There's a surprise. Oh, there's a huge big best before April the 24th in the back. I don't know if you can see that. Just huge. Just in case. But anyway, Yorkshire pudding beer. This is not a beer to make Yorkshire puddings with. It's Yorkshire pudding beer. So this isn't a beer to make Yorkshire pudding with. It's a Yorkshire pudding beer. Right, okay. The first and original Yorkshire pudding beer made in the foothills of the North Yorkshire moors. We get our Yorkshire puddings from our friends at the Real Yorkshire Pudding Company in Doncaster. Each 500ml bottle of beer contains approximately half a Yorkshire pudding. The beer is soft and smooth with a hint of creaminess at the back end of the beer. And it says water, malted barley, wheat, Yorkshire pudding, wheat flour, calcium carbonate, iron, niacin, thiamine, skim milk, free-range egg white, free-range whole eggs, rapeseed oil, salt, hops and yeast. Fucking seriously. I mean, seriously, if somebody gave you that as an ingredients for a beer without telling you the name, you'd be thinking, what the fuck is going on with that? Do I want a glass? No. Would be the answer. And yeah, Yorkshire pudding beer. Oh, they've got it on social media, so on X, formerly Twitter, at Yorkshire pudding beer, on Instagram at Yorkshire pudding beer, and bedrinkaware.co.uk. So there you go. So based on 20 gram Yorkshire pudding. So yeah, they really are going for it. Anyway, let's crack it open and you can watch me suffer. Oh, you buggers. I've got a waft of egg. Oh, Jesus. Just the minute I cracked it open, there was a bit of kind of, smoke coming from the cap there, and they just got this waft of egg. Which is not pleasant. That's not a good sign. Jesus God. Adrian, you're a fucker. Yes, you are. You know you are. Anyway, let's pour this out. So it's the one and only first. Oh, Jesus God, look at the fucking state of Christ. And I went gentle with that. For people in the podcast, I'm sitting with half a glass of beer and just over a third of foam. And it's absolutely raging. I don't know if you can hear that. Unbelievable. It is. It's absolutely raging with carbonation. And it's slightly cloudy as well, actually, as you can see. Well, obviously, if you're in the podcast, you probably can't. So you probably think, stop saying that, because I can't. And you're absolutely right to be saying that. So, yes, it's slightly golden colour. But it is kind of misty. It's slightly cloudy. It's not hazy. I'm not going down that route. You can fuck off with your haziness. I'm not going to use that word. But yes, it does look very kind of... There is an egginess smell off of this. Jesus, what the fuck am I doing in my life? Seriously. I thought, right, I'll do this before I start really cracking on with the Czech series and take that seriously. I've got some interesting ones. I've got 2 Czech ones that are going to be coming up. Well, one's a bit of an education. One is a beer and that people have a strange impression of. So what we're doing this week, we'll be doing this beer. I'm going to do a beer news this week as well for September, because there's quite a lot of beer news, and obviously I'm going to get wired in and do a couple of Czech beer reviews as well. So let's pull this out and see what we're getting now. So there you go. It's very cloudy. It's almost like a cloudy cider, almost like a scrumpy kind of colour, if you know what that is. And if not, look up some kind of scrumpy ciders, and this will kind of give you an idea of what it's like. And even the head is almost like a kind of scrumpy-esque kind of head. But yeah, it smells eggy. It's like a little bit of hint of malt and grain, but you have this kind of strange eggy smell right over the top of it, and it's just, that's it. It doesn't smell nice at all. It really doesn't. The eggy smell just is very off-putting. So anyway, let's see what it tastes like. This is going to be a shock. Oh fuck, that's overcarbonated. For an ale. There's a lot of carbonation there. What the hell is that flavour? Jesus God, what the hell is that flavour? Oh jeez. What am I doing? God. There's no flavour in that at all. There's a little bit of egginess that I got when I had my first sip. But when I had my second one, I'm thinking, right, let's have a home edit on the beer flavours. And that was my first mistake. And I'm like, well, let's be told, it's probably my second or third with this beer. First mistake was buying it and listening to fucking Adrian. Second mistake was actually thinking, well, I'll review it and I'm going to actually open it. Well, that would cover second and third mistake. So this is now basically, well, no, first mistake was actually thinking about drinking it after pouring it. So I'm probably in the fifth or sixth mistake now. So yeah. So my fifth or sixth mistake was going back for a second sip, and I can't taste any beer. Jesus God, what the hell am I doing in my life? Seriously, what the hell is going on with the beer industry? Seriously. I mean, I'll be totally honest, I mean, I hope to God it's not as bad in other countries as it is here right now, because between the supermarkets and craft breweries and everything else, I'll be totally honest, in certain respects, it's turning into a bloody circus. It really is. It is. It's just, I mean, it's like every day's a clown day. It really is. It's like, instead of, I mean, why didn't Aldi think, well, tell you what, why don't we try and make a really good quality ale? A good standard ale. Because people drink a lot of ale. It's a popular thing. So let's work on the basis. Let's make a good lager, because people drink a lot of good lager. You know, they like lager, they drink lager. So let's make a good lager, a good ale. Now you can do it as an amber ale, you can do it as a brown ale, whatever, but do something like that. And then think, well, let's do a really good porter or stout. You know, and that just gives us some of that. And just go with them three profiles. Why do not just go with that? So within a certain price point, let's try and make the best lager possible, the best kind of ale, again, amber or brown ale, or maybe a bitter or something like that. But do something. And then maybe do a porter or a stout, you know, the best you can for a certain price point. And then go with that. And then you can say, well, this is the best we can make under this price point, where we make a profit and it's still affordable to people and everything else. And then you could say, well, at least you're being honest, and I can see where you're coming from. It might not work, it might be lacking or whatever in certain aspects, but at the end of the day, you could then turn around and say, well, at least you've tried. You know, and I hope to God, you know, they would have honestly tried. But no, they're sitting there thinking, well, let's not actually make the best one we can for a certain price point. Let's make a bottle of this shit. I mean, that's the problem. Is if, like, why do people avoid traditional beer? Why is it? I don't know. I mean, it's just madness that there's so many people that drink basically lager in the UK, or drink basically an amber ale or bitters, or they like a porter or stout, and all these kind of more traditional style beers, even golden ale. But even then, the problem is with golden ale, there's just so many of them about, and some of them are just, well, they're just glorified lagers. And then other ones is the case is, you've got lagers that are slightly kind of crappy golden ales. But in general, the main drinks that people are drinking, they're drinking either lagers, ales, or into the kind of more porters and stouts. I mean, they're the main ones. They're the ones that people are mostly drinking. So you think, well, to tap into that market, let's try and make the best we can for an affordable price. So, like, say, Fuller's is about just over £2 a bottle. Well, let's say a price point of £1.50 or £1.70. Let's see the best one we can make for £1.70 a bottle, 500ml, roughly about what, 4.5–5%. There you go. Why didn't I go for that? Why are they so frightened to actually kind of do that? Why are they going to come up with some stupid gimmick like fucking Yorkshire Pudding beer or sticky toffee fucking beer and all this shit? And you're thinking, it's fucking clowns running the circus. It really is. And it just doesn't make any sense to me. It really doesn't. Sometimes you're thinking, we are, to a certain degree, we're a bloody joke. It really is. We're a joke. Either that, or they just have complete contempt for the people who think, well, yeah, they're buying that and they're drinking lagers and ales. What the fuck do they know? We'll tell you what, we'll make a stupid fucking beer and we'll fucking sell it to them, and they'll buy it because they're all fuckwits. I mean, it's just sheer contempt for your fucking customers. I mean, you really are. And then you've got the fucking cheek to make up your own fucking awards. Oh, winner of the Aldi, the next big thing. Oh, fuck off. Seriously. Would you sell this shit in Germany? Do you think you would get away with it? Do you think the Germans would react if you gave them a bottle of this piss? How do you think? You think, oh, fucking Yorkshire. Or maybe they think, they sell it as a novelty beer in Germany, and then the Germans can all laugh at basically the British because they think this is decent. The only problem is we don't. We don't think this is decent. We just think, I mean, how the fuck is this head still like this? It's almost like a false head. It's almost like some sort of icing, or if you're in America, frosting on the top of the beer. It just doesn't dissipate. It just goes down to this. It's like bubble bath. It really is. It's like bubble bath. It just doesn't go away. It's just so fucking strange. Right. There's very little beer flavours. A little bit of bitterness in the end, and that's really it. I mean, I'll break it down. It's not going to take long. Right. Front of the mouth, you get little accents of beer flavours, but it's just so watery. So watery at the start that you can't really identify malts or grains or sweetness. It's just a kind of general kind of beer accent, but just kind of watery. Moves out in the mid-tongue, again, kind of watered down, kind of beer accents. Really no flavours there at all, and definitely nothing that can be identified as individual, apart from this slightly eggy kind of accent that you're now getting in the mid-tongue, which is lovely, which just lingers in the mid-tongue and moves on to the aftertaste. In the aftertaste, you're still getting a little bit of egginess, and you're starting to get a slight, I don't know, but you get a slight kind of egg white sensation in the aftertaste, and you get a little bit of bitterness coming through, and then that's it. It's just, and it's overly carbonated, and it's just doesn't really taste of beer. It smells of egg, get more of a flavour of egg, and overall it's absolutely just a joke. It really is. It's a joke. Yeah, the laugh's on me again. What would I give this out of 10? Well, I could take the label off the bottle and really use it for actually bottling homebrew, so it gets a point for that, and that's it. So there you go. 1 out of 10. Don't bother. Seriously, don't bother. If you feel you have to spend the money, and I'm not really sure the price, but I'll put it on below anyway, but I think it was roughly about 179, 180 or something. I'm sure it was. It was around with that kind of price. But if you feel you need to basically waste £1.80, give it to a homeless person, put it in a charity box, whatever you want to do. Just don't give it to Aldi for a bottle of this shit. I mean, seriously, just don't. Just rubbish. It just another beer that makes a mockery out of beer drinkers, supermarket customers, and just people that like traditional beers. It's just another thing that just makes a mockery, and it's just very sad and very disappointing. But this is what we live in. This is the world we live in. I'm sure it's probably happening in lots of other countries, but especially in the UK. It's a case that nobody. I was discussing this with a few people, and nobody goes out to actually make the best beer they can. Nobody wants to make the best beer they can. It just doesn't happen anymore. Most companies want to kind of do a gimmick, or do a kind of make a beer for a price point. Who gives a fuck if it's a good beer or not? It doesn't matter. They make a beer for a price point, and hopefully the mugs buy it. I mean, it's like that scenario. It just, nobody's coming up with good beer. I mean, I'm trying to think of a new beer that's been launched recently in the last 24 months that has been kind of standout. Thinking, ooh. And I'm talking in bottles. I mean, maybe the odd ones that come out in cask and things like that. But the problem is, a lot of breweries, if they basically release something in cask, It's usually very much for the local market, so unless you're in these areas, you're never really going to get a chance to kind of taste it, and especially if it's a seasonal beer. So again, you've got to rely on what's being bottled, and let's be totally honest, I don't think there's anything worthwhile that's come out in the last 24 months that anybody's turn around and say, oh, that's a really good beer. A lot of the times we're enjoying beers, recipes from the past, let's be totally honest, which is quite disappointing. But anyway, talking about disappointing, Yorkshire Pudding beer at 3.6%, 500ml bottle, roughly about £1.80. But again, I'll put the more accurate, up-to-date price in the beer facts below. It's 1 out of 10. Well, just don't bother. And if you ever meet Adrian and he says, oh, you should buy that, tell him to fuck off. Anyway, thanks for watching. Cheers. Bye for now.